So set 9 reveals are in full swing. But you know what I'm looking forward to? Potentially in a future set, maybe not even in the next block, but in the future? I wonder what I'm looking forward to. If only I was wearing a shirt that clearly identified what franchise I would like to see in Lorcana without naming it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another Lorcana video. I'm TheXploder, and yes, I'm wearing a Muppet shirt, because on the inside, I'm actually just a real big Muppet. What can I say? Today I've got another deck list for you, another deck that I've really enjoyed playing, that I think isn't necessarily the best deck in single-player formats, but in multiplayer formats could be really fun. Let me show it to you. Ladies and gents, allow me to introduce you to Damage in Wonderland, the Emerald Ruby deck that features the Queen of Hearts doing her very best. Now, bearing in mind, this will not feature any cards from Reign of Jafar, because at the recording of this video, Reign of Jafar is not out. We don't have all the cards yet. There are some quirky cards that I have seen that would definitely help this deck out. But this is the deck I have, if anything, ready for Reign of Jafar. It's very budget friendly as well, being only at $30, so if you want to get in on this nice and early before Reign of Jafar comes out, highly recommend it. So, let's have a look at the build so far. I warn you, I'm still not necessarily happy with this build. I think there are definitely improvements to be made. But I do like where this is heading, so let's go over it. 47 characters in total, starting off with 4 copies of Card Soldiers, which is fan-tabby-dozy. I really enjoy this card in this deck. Basically, while you have a damaged character in play, this character gets +2 attack, turning him into a 3/2 without even needing a single lick of damage on him. But if he does come in with damage, he also becomes a free attacker, which is very, very nice. We have 2 copies of Go-Go Tomago because we are running with damage characters and applying damage onto our opponents as well. If we have a character in play, or our opponent has a character in play, should I say, that has plenty of damage on them at the time that we can play Go-Go, we can just play Go-Go, play the extra cost, get a boatload of lore out of a deal, and pretty much win the game. Go-Go's the GOAT. Well, more so Merlin GOAT of this deck. We're also running 4 copies of Lumiere Fiery Friend. The main reason for Lumiere in this deck is to boost up the attack values of our characters to help them out with bopping, as well as helping out with bops. It's also to help us be a little bit stronger in case our opponent is running any removal or any bounce back to our hand cards. That requires us being 2 attack or less. I'm looking at you, muses. Then we're also running 4 copies of the Queen of Hearts Impulsive Ruler, a 2/2 with Rush that is very handy to just rush in, bop when we need it, and a fantastic shift target. Another fantastic shift target that works really well in this deck is the Queen of Hearts Losing Her Temper, the brand new 2-cost inkable 1/4 for 1, and with the effect, while this character has damage, she gets +3 attack. So even if you don't shift her into the bigger Queen of Hearts, if she just has damage on her by herself, she becomes a 4/4, which is nice. Obviously it won't be a 4/4 because she will have to take damage to have that buff on her, but you know what I mean, she gets to 4 attack without even any other external buffs, which is nice. Then we are running 3 copies of Ed, the Laughing Hyena. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to a chosen damage character. It's a fantastic card that just helps us do a little bit of extra damage to our opponent's already damaged characters that we're basically playing along with in this deck. We're also running 3 copies of Lyle Tiberius Rourke, which is for 2/4 for 1, and has 2 effects. When you play him, an opposing character gains Reckless, and when one of your characters gets taken out by any means, doesn't need to be by a challenge, doesn't need to be during your opponent's turn, just whenever they get banished, your opponent loses 1 lore. So this is our tempo play, just to help micromanage the board a little bit. So if we can get rid of one of our guys, just to make it so our opponent isn't in the lead on lore, or loses just enough lore to micromanage the game a little bit more, Rourke definitely helps us out on that matter. We're also running 3 copies of Ed the Hysterical Partygoer, which has the effect of damaged characters can't challenge this character. Because we're going to be damaging everything on the board anyway, we pretty much have a guaranteed quest for free. The bad side is that he still can be removed by other means, but even if we only get one quest off of Hysterical Partygoer, that's better than a lot of other things. He only ever needs to quest once. And that can help. Then we're also running 3 copies of Fidget, the Sneaky Bag. A 4-cost inkable 2/3 for 2 with evasive, and whenever this character quests, another chosen character of ours gains evasive until the start of our next turn. This can mean we can target this onto Hysterical Partygoer Ed. Now we quest for free. He has evasive, so he has a way to avoid damage. We can also do this on our big Queen of Hearts, which we'll cover in a little bit, so we can quest for big also. Pretty much, this Fidget helps us to bop into something that's evasive if we need to get rid of it, or give one of our guys evasive if we just simply need to go, oh no, you can't hit me. Then we're also running 2 copies of King of Hearts Picky Ruler, a 3/3 for 2 that has damage characters can't challenge your characters. So now we have Ed Hysterical Partygoer, but now it affects anything that's damaged, which is awesome. So combine this with the new Queen of Hearts. Opponent's character comes onto the board, takes 1 damage, and because it has 1 damage on it, it can no longer challenge any of our guys. Doesn't matter if it has rush, doesn't matter if it has evasive, doesn't matter on any of that, it just can't do it. And the best part is, King of Hearts doesn't even need to be exerted for us to activate this effect. We're also running 4 copies of the Vengeful Lion Scar, a 4/2 with ward, and whenever one of our characters challenges a damaged character, we may draw a card. You can already tell that this deck suffers from card draw syndrome. But with this, we at least have a way of drawing cards in some capacity. I don't think this is the best card draw out there, but at least in the deck that we have, if we do need to draw some additional cards, this is way better than nothing. And then we're running 4 copies of the Queen that we definitely need to play in this deck to make this work. Queen of Hearts, Unpredictable Bully, a 2/6 for 2, shift 3 on any of our other Queen of Hearts, and whenever another character is played, put a damage counter on them. Now, bear in mind 2 things. Number 1, this will trigger on any character that is played, yours or your opponent's. So make sure that you and your opponent have plenty of damage dice or damage counters with you to identify damage on board. The second thing to bear in mind is that it puts a damage counter on them. Doesn't deal damage, it doesn't apply damage by any means. You're putting damage on. That means characters that come onto the board with ward do get that damage on them because it is an automatic effect. Characters with resist, which is the big one, do take that damage as well. Doesn't matter whether you have resist 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't even matter. You will get that damage on you because it's a put effect. At least as far as I'm aware, this will get over ward because it is not a targeted ability. It is an innate ability that hits any character upon entry as the requirement. So because it's not targeting a character directly, I believe it does go through on ward. I will try and clarify this and put a thing on screen so that you guys are truly aware of it. But as far as I'm aware, that is true. As long as you have Queen of Hearts, Unpredictable Bully out, doesn't matter what kind of character you play, that damage will be put on them. Simple as. Then we're running 3 copies of Maui, Hero to All, the classic 6/5 with Rush and Reckless, because quite frankly, when we do need to bop it and we need to bop it big, we've got our big boy to bop it proper. And we've also got 4 copies of the Queen of Hearts, Sensing Weakness, a shift 2 Queen of Hearts with 4/3, and whenever one of your characters challenges another character, you may draw a card. Bearing in mind this is on challenge declaration, not on damage dealt. So as soon as you declare the challenge, draw the card. So do not forget, if you declare a challenge with anyone whilst you have this girl out, draw that card. It's especially essential in this deck when you don't exactly have a lot of card draw. Those are all of the characters. After that, we're only running 4 actions in the deck, which are 4 copies of Mosquito Bite, where you simply put a damage counter onto chosen character. Now when Reign of Jafar comes out, I believe Mosquito Bite will be an easy card to take out of a deck and replace with another character or with some more quirky tech. It's definitely here to help you put damage onto characters when you don't have damage on them at any point, especially if you are about to quest with Ed Historical Partygoer, for example, or you want to impose King of Hearts and your opponent just has one character out with no damage on them because you weren't able to get the queen out, or the queen got removed, or whatever that happens, at least this applies one damage without you having to bot. Then we're running 9 items, which is a lot of different items, but they do a lot of different things. We're running 4 copies of Card Soldier's Spear, so now our damage characters get +1 attack. It definitely makes us more threatening, it makes it harder for attack-based removal to really hit us, and on top of that, if we're going to hit into our opponents, we hit them very hard. I'm also running 2 copies of Medallion Weights, not just to help us hit harder, but if we attack a character, now we get to draw an additional card. Combine this with Queen of Hearts Sensing Weakness, now we get to draw 2 cards on attack declaration. It's better than nothing. And then as a quirky addition to the deck, we're running 3 copies of Vision Slab. At the start of our turn, if an opposing character has damage, we gain a lore, and damage counters can't be removed. So if our opponent is thinking of using Rapunzel plays in order to heal, or doing anything using damage manipulation to move damage across, guess what? It can't be removed. Doesn't matter if you move it or remove it in any capacity whatsoever, you just can't, because Vision Slab says no, and as long as there's damage on the board, we get lore for it. You're only going to really ever need one of these on board at any time, but if you have more than one out, guess what? That's multiple triggers at the start of your turn, and that could potentially win you the game. So it's quirky, I know. Probably reduce it to 2 or even 1 when Reign of Jafar comes out, but it's a really quirky addition, and I feel that it works in this deck. Now, I did say I'm not necessarily happy with the build still, and what I mean by that is that there's a lot of different decisions that you can make with the deck. It's very mid-range heavy, but you do have a lot of cards in here that help increase your attack to make it so that your mid-range, lower damage characters can still get out there and do the bops. The deck is heavily reliant on the Queen of Hearts Unpredictable Bully, however, so if you are unable to get her in your opening hand, even after mulligans, you are going to be struggling. The deck still suffers from card draw syndrome, as I call it, where it doesn't have the best, most reliable card draw engine known to mankind, but even with that in mind, this is still an incredibly fun, budget-worthy deck that I highly recommend anyone playing, single player or multiplayer. Personally, I find this deck to be the most fun in multiplayer formats. Grab a few friends, do a 4-player free-for-all, play out Queen of Hearts where everyone has to have their characters with damage on, and then play out Vision Slab, and you're going to have a hell of a fun time. This is a really fun deck in that multiplayer format, and if you do ever try it in that format, let me know in the comments. But that's that. That's Damage in Wonderland this side of Set 8. I will definitely be looking at making a newer version of this deck when Set 8 comes out, because I feel as if there's quite a lot of quirky deck tech with that set as well that we can add in to make this ever so stronger. But what do you think about it? Do you likey? Do you know likey? Or do you thinky you have an idea of your own to make this even better? Let me know your thoughts over in the comment section. While you're down there, check out the description below where you can check out the deck list as well as all my other social links for more explosive fun times. And while you're down there, be sure to subscribe, like the video, share with your friends, and let them know how they can also go to Wonderland and receive the damage of the Queen! But that's all for now, and I'll be seeing you guys for another Lorcana video. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, but most importantly, stay explosive. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. I still think Damage in Wonderland is probably the best name for it. I wonder what other names we can have. If you guys think of a better name than Damage in Wonderland, let me know in the comments as well, because I think that's the best name I can get it. At least for now.